everybody. Welcome to the live. Can't wait for you guys to join. We're going to have the absolute best time. I got my 90s music going. We're going to have such a good time. Hello. Please drop in the comments your name, or you can wave. My name is Maya. We're going to be doing a summer look. And we're actually doing a gold cut crease. So I'm excited for you guys to see it. We're going to be sharing tips together because I want to know y'all's tips. I want to share some tips, and we're just going to have fun tonight doing a summer makeup look. But welcome to everybody that's joining. I can see everybody. Hello. Please feel free to drop in the chat your name in case I can't see your name like as you're joining. My name is Maya, and I'm going to be doing a fun makeup look with you guys. So I'm excited. It's going to be such a great time. Also, if y'all hear music in the background, I'm doing like 90s. Love a good 90s throwback music. I was born in the 90s, so we're going to have some music playing, and we're just going to have a party tonight, y'all, okay? A makeup party. But welcome to everybody that's joining. Thank y'all so much. We're going to get ready to jump right in because I am doing a gold cut crease, and I'm actually going to show you guys the eyeshadow palette first. This is actually the Bobbi Brown Bronze Nude eyeshadow palette, but let me show y'all the colors. Hello, Tequila. I see you in the chat. Hello. This is the shades, y'all. Do y'all see this? Beautiful. So basically, I'm going to be doing a gold cut crease, and we're going to be using, I'm going to show you all the shades we're going to be using. So pretty much we're using this gold shade, we're going to use this brown shade and this darker brown shade, and we're just going to smoke it out. And then on top of that, we're going to finish with this gloss by Bobbi Brown. This is like Bare Sparkle, and it's so pretty. It goes on top of like lip glosses, lipsticks, liquid lipsticks, and also great by itself. So I just can't wait for y'all to see the whole look. Please drop in the chat your name. Say hello. Again, my name is Maya, and let's get started. So I'm actually just going to be taking an eyeshadow brush, just like this, and I'm going to dip it into this brown shade, this one right here. So we're going to dip right in, and we're going to start with a transition color. I like doing transition shades anytime I'm doing a makeup look, simply because it makes it almost like an ombre effect, but it also just sets the tone for all of the eyeshadows you're going to be putting on top. Ignore me, I'm probably going to be moving my hair back so y'all can see what I'm doing on both sides, but I'm going to start on this eye just so y'all can have a closer look. Then we'll jump back and forth. But while I'm getting started, drop in the chat where y'all are from. I'm here in Atlanta, Georgia. Drop in the chat where y'all are from, and where you guys are watching from. I would love to know. Hello, Flo in Atlanta, ATL. Love you. Nothing like a good old Georgia peach. Serena, hi. Serena in Atlanta, love it. Who else? Tequila, Charlotte, North Carolina. Yes. If you're joining now, hello everybody. My name is Maya. Everybody is dropping up in the chat where y'all are from. I'm again from Atlanta, and we are starting this cool, easy summer eyeshadow look. And I'm just going in with a transition shade to start off to sort of set the tone for this entire look. But hey, Lauren, Woodstock. So I'm going to show you guys looking straight. This is with the eyeshadow. This is without. Whenever you are starting with your eyeshadow, always start with like an eyeshadow base. If you're like, girl, I do not have an eyeshadow like base or anything like that, your concealer will actually do just fine. Put your concealer on, set it with like powder, and go straight in with your eyeshadow. That's going to help prevent it from like creasing. And especially depending on what you're doing, if you're outside, if you're going to be gone all day, you definitely want to do that on your eyelids before you start your eyeshadow. Bree, hi Bree, ATL in the house. I love it. What's up, y'all? Also, in case y'all hear music in the background, I am playing 90s. If you know me, y'all know that is like my go-to music. I was born in the 90s, so I personally listen to 90s all the time. It's such great music. So if y'all see somebody drop in the chat like a song or something, I might have it on my playlist. Hello, everyone that is joining. Hello. We are doing a fun, easy summer gold cut crease. And I'm going to show you all the shade that I'm applying to my lids. I'm going to blow this. So basically, y'all can see me in the mirror. Hey, y'all. So this is actually the color that I am using right now. Whenever you're starting your eyeshadow, always start with like a lighter shade and then you want to build up. Depending on the look, of course, that you're going for, I always go for like a lighter brown and then I will darken it and sort of like progress that way. So I just went in with the lightest shade. And again, this is the Bobbi Brown Nude Eyeshadow Palette. And the cool thing about tonight's live, any of the products that I'm using and I'm showing you guys, y'all can shop the products right from this live. But I'm just going to make sure all of this is blended, and then we're going to jump straight into the next shade. And if you just joined, hello, hello. My name is Maya, and I want y'all to put in the chat where y'all are from, because I want to know. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia, ATL. So I would love to know where you guys are from. And then also, let's talk about eyeshadow. Like, what are y'all's favorite eyeshadow colors to put on, to wear from like every day to like date night? Let me know. Oh, I got a question. Yes. Hey, Amira. All right. Do you extend the base color past your lash line? Ooh, great question. So depending on the look that you're going to be doing, I personally will do my eyeshadow base on the entire lid area, but I will extend it to where I know like my eyeshadow is going to stop. Sometimes if you sort of stop it here and your eyeshadow goes past it, you're going to almost see like a darker like line of demarcation in a way to where you can see where your base starts and stops. So I like to always suggest doing a little bit more further out. So just in case you hit the area, it's a seamless look. But I personally, yes, love doing that. Okay, yes, gold. I love a good gold. Gold is actually my favorite color. All right, y'all. So now we're going in with the next darkest shade, which is actually it's the darkest shade on the entire palette. It's this dark brown. So basically, whenever you're doing a cut crease, the key to a really good cut crease, you have to make sure that you darken this area where you're going to place the eyeshadow, so it creates a shadow with your eyeshadow. Wow, that was a lot. But basically, that's what you're doing, because if it's not dark enough, when you apply your shimmer or whatever shade to do the cut crease, it's not going to really show. Golds and purples. Yes, Lauren. I should have known that. Love golds. Gold and purple, those colors and those shades go really well together, especially for like eyeshadow looks. If I'm ever adding like a pop of color, I'll always add like gold and then I'll do purple at the bottom. It's just like a cool, fun pop. So in case you want to add a little pop of color, gold and purple are like great combos. Also, gold and green look really nice together. Now, with my eyeshadow, you guys are going to notice, I'm going to look straight ahead. So this is, of course, my base shadow or my transition color. This here is going to be the darker, and just looking straight ahead, you can always already see like the increase in just like the color, the pigment, but I'm just going in with a darker color, but you're going to blend. So don't just apply it. You want to blend it with the other one just so it looks really seamless. You can't really see the start or stop to either shadow that you started with or the shadow you're going in with. And if y'all have any questions, please drop them in the chat. I love talking all things makeup, as you can hear. I also love sharing tips with you guys. And whenever you're applying the second shade, you want to use nothing like super duper loose, but you want to use a brush that's a little bit more dense so that it applies in a specific area. If it's sort of like more of a fluffy, it's going to go over your entire eye. You want to be very specific when you're doing this, just so that it's not covering the shade that you put on before. But please drop in the chat if you just joined where you are from. If you've been on, ask me some questions, makeup tips, makeup questions. If you're like, girl, I've never done a cut crease, I don't even know where to start, ask whatever questions you would like, and I am here to answer all of them. Hello, everybody. How many Ooh, that's a great question, Flo. So how many brushes do you need? So if you're like, okay, girl, I don't have any brushes and I need to learn just from a beginner standpoint, I always say you can have like 4 to 5 brushes and achieve any makeup look. I think I'll show you all my brush thing, and don't be intimidated or like, girl, this is like all of my brushes. Now there's like liners and stuff, but this is all of my brushes. Now, when I first started doing my makeup, I did not have that many. I had like 4 or 5, like I'm telling you guys. And then as I started to learn like what to do with certain ones, I just added it to my collection. For this look specifically, you're only going to need, I would say, 4 brushes. The first brush is going to be utilized to apply your transition shade, which is the lightest shade you're going to apply on your eye. The second one is going to be like this one that I'm using now, something that's a little dense, but not too dense to where it's creating like a line on your eyes. The third brush is going to be like the brush that you're going to utilize for applying your like metallic shimmer shades. So I always like to say use something, and I'll show you guys what it looks like. You're going to use something that's like this. It's like a flat synthetic like brush. And I always wet my brushes whenever I do my eyeshadows. But therefore that just allows, you to have control. And then the last brush, I have stopped wearing eyeliner as much just because in the morning it's like an extra step. So to me, I'm like, if I'm already doing eyeshadow, let me just use eyeshadow for my liner. So with that being said, I will simply take a brush, and I'll also show you guys that brush as well. And I'll simply just apply that to my lower lash line to apply my liner as eyeshadow, and that's it. So 4 brushes. Now, if you're like, okay, Maya, that's a lot. I don't even know if I could start with that. You can honestly do it with 2. You can just, utilize the same brush, but you just have to sort of be a little bit more specific in your motions, where you're applying it and all that good stuff. But I would say 4 brushes is a great start for a beginner. If you're like, girl, I don't even do eyeshadow at this point, I would say 4 brushes and you are good to go. But I'm just going to go back over. I see some more questions. Let's see what else we got. So, all right, Tequila, it says, where would you choose to wear a cut crease, work, date night, weddings? Oh, well, if you're going to ask me where I'm wearing a cut crease, I will wear it to all of them because I just love cut crease. I think like depending on what you're wearing, what you have, like all that kind of stuff, of course, will factor into what you're going to do with your eyeshadow, right? But I feel like a cut crease can go anywhere simply because I like also doing like neutral and natural cut creases. So basically I'll use like my concealer to cut the crease, and I'll honestly take it from this shade. I would do a color like this and apply it to the concealer and do a natural cut crease. So for me, girl, I'm gonna wear a cut crease everywhere. But yeah, I like to play with my cut creases so they don't all look the same, but also it sort of fits the profession or wherever I'm at. It sort of fits that where I'm going. Great question. What else do we have? Okay, Lauren says, can you show the first brush you use for the base color? Absolutely. So this is the first brush. Actually, no, it's not. This is the first brush that I use, and it's like a fluffy brush. This is the type of brush that you're going to want to get. If you're looking like for a specific one, just go on the Mile and just type in transition brush, and you're going to see all different types of brushes come up. Get something that's fluffy, and therefore that's going to spread the shade exactly where you want it. So great questions, y'all. I love, love, love. Okay, let me make sure I got all the questions before we proceed. Oh, Lauren, Whitney, thank you. You're so sweet. Thank you so much. Okay. So Lauren says I missed the brow highlight portion. How do you get your gradient so perfect? Typically bring my crease color up too high. Ooh, that's perfect. Okay. So typically a rule of thumb is if you are going too high with like your starter color, what you want to do is like when you're looking in the mirror, look straight and do it exactly where like your lid has a crease. So I'm gonna get close. So if I'm looking like straight ahead of or whatever, you're gonna see here is where my crease is. So I'm gonna apply the shade there. Now, if you're going way too high for your second shade, what you want to do is you're going to actually, what I like to do is look down. And you want to sort of feel where your crease is. Once you look down, you can sort of see it, and you're going to want to go here. A lot of times, if you're looking straight ahead, you're probably going to go too high. So a lot of times what I like to do, look sort of like down, like at an angle at your mirror, take your brush and apply this just like this. And then before you go fully in, look at yourself straight ahead in the mirror, and you can see if you're too high, too low, or you might be perfect. So that's sort of the tips that I like to do whenever you're applying your eyeshadow in case you are going too high. Great question. And my brow highlight portion, I actually had this on before camera. So typically I do my brows. It depends on, I guess, the mood. Like sometimes I'll do my brows before I do anything else. Sometimes I'll do my brows at the end. A lot of times I like doing my brows at the end now, only because like when I apply my foundation, I'll make sure I get around my brows really, really well. And then I'll do my brows at the end. And I know that foundation and stuff is not like almost missing this area of my brow. So whenever I'm doing my highlight portion, it's just concealer. I use like an angled brush. I don't know if I have one right here, but like a small, yeah, here's one. Like an angled brush like this. And you're just going to apply it, boop. And then I just use like any type of like small blending brush like this to blend it out. And then once you blend it out and then you start applying eyeshadow, it just looks like a really seamless like look. Love it. Hey, say. Yes, love that. Thank you. I'm glad y'all like the look down tip. I actually started doing that myself because I would go too high and I would completely start over. So try the tip and let me know how it works. All right, so now the fun part begins, which is my personal favorite. I'm going to be going in with the shimmer shade, and shout out to all of my followers. Y'all hooked me up with this look. Y'all decided on a gold cut crease for tonight's live. And so basically I'm going to be going in with this beautiful, beautiful gold shade, but I'm going to tell y'all the tip and the trick to creating the best cut crease. You need to use a liquid. So unless like your eyeshadow is a liquid eyeshadow that's going to like move really easily, what you want to do is use either like water, micellar water, or you can use a setting spray. My go-to is like setting spray because I already have it like on the table when I'm doing my makeup. So I just grab it. However, what you're going to do, you can do it one of two ways. You can dip your brush into the shade first and then spray. Or you can spray your brush first and then dip. Me personally, in order for me not to like mess up my eyeshadow, I like to actually apply the eyeshadow to my brush and then I'll spray it and then I'll apply it. So we're going to go in with this beautiful gold shade. Again, if you just joined, hello everybody. And this is what it looks like. I'm going to try to do the old school way of showing stuff. This is literally what the eyeshadow looks like. So basically, once I have the eyeshadow on the brush, I'm just going to apply some setting spray. And when you apply the setting spray, you want to make sure it's like good and all over it. If it just hits a section of it, when you start to do your cut crease or your crease just in general, it's not going to necessarily like follow where you want it to go. And then if I feel like, I need a little bit more, you'll just dip just a little bit in your shadow and then get ready to apply. So what I'm going to do, I'm looking at my mirror this way, but I'm going to try my best to do this eye so you can see exactly what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. But basically, you're just going to take this. And when you're doing your cut crease, you want to look straight because you basically want to see where the crease of your eye is because you want to go a little bit above that so that like when you're looking at somebody, they can see your eyeshadow and it's not just like right here on your lid. So let's do it really quick. So basically, I'm just going to look here. And I'm going to make sure y'all can see it too before I go. So basically, what I always do is I do a test. So as you can see, it's applying real good. So now I'm just going to do a line here. Make sure it looks good. And now I'm going to do the full thing. So I'm going to actually apply a little bit more setting spray, dip in, and now we're going full throttle. With this, I'm going to bring my mirror a little bit closer just so I can see really good. And then I'll turn a little bit more so y'all can see. But when you apply it, you're going to close your eyes. Boop, just like that. And therefore, you have your cut crease. Now, what I'm going to do now is clean this up. Boom. So now, as y'all can see, like looking straight ahead, y'all can still see my crease. Let me look a little bit closer. And all I'm going to do now is make this crease as sharp as possible. Just like that. And then whenever you're doing your cut crease, what you want to make sure you don't go all the way in to the end of your lid, just because I'm going to show you guys how to apply your eyeshadow to sort of blend everything in, and you can't see where your metallic starts, stops, or anything like that. But I usually say, like, rule of thumb, go a little bit past like midway eye and then stop there. But also, after you finish, you want to sort of look down and make sure it's straight and that it looks really good. So this is with the cut and this is without. But again, like if I'm looking straight ahead, y'all can still see like that it's a cut crease right here. So again, rule of thumb, just always look straight ahead so you can see the crease, and then close your eyes, apply, check, and then keep applying. I always say start lower when you're doing your cut crease, just so that you're like, if you go too high, it's a little bit harder to fix. Now you can fix it. It just takes a little bit longer. But if you go too low, you can always fix that. If you're going too high, it takes a little bit more. Oh, Amira, she said, I feel like I never go up high enough. Okay, great. So if you feel that way, whenever you're applying your eyeshadow, what you want to do is basically apply it and then look straight ahead. And if you're like, girl, I cannot see this, what you want to do is go a little bit higher, look straight ahead, continue doing that process until it gets to the point where you can see it by looking straight ahead. And sorry, y'all, I'm looking down. I'm going to show y'all the color I'm applying. I'm just going back in with my brush and applying it on my brush. I just went ahead and sprayed some more setting spray on it just so this side is good. And now let's do the cut crease on this side. But Amira, I'm gonna actually show you what it will look like if it's actually not if it's not high enough. So let's do it. I'm sorry, y'all. Let me get close so y'all can see. So let's do it like this. Say if you're doing it and you're like, okay, this is it. I'm gonna show y'all the difference. If I'm looking straight ahead, this one is going to show you like, whoop, cut crease. This one is like, ooh, her lid is pretty, right? Which is not bad. But if you're wanting to like really get it where it's a little bit higher, look straight ahead. And if you can't see it by looking straight, you know, you got to add a little bit more. So all you're going to do is after you do that, you're just going to take your brush and do a little bit higher like that. Bam. Now you have your cut crease, okay? So now all I'm going to do is blend this bad boy out. And again, when you're doing your cut crease, make sure that you like, if you're doing it for the first time, do it lower and then continue going higher until when you look straight ahead, it looks like this. And everyone's eyelid is different. So depending on your lid, depending on the look you want, that's also going to be very beneficial. But let me see what questions I have before we proceed. So, can't see. Okay, so Say says, what is your preference for setting spray? Oh, great question. So there's a ton of different setting sprays out there. I like setting sprays that make everything sort of like settle in and like blend in really good, especially for my face. So honestly, I think Bobbi Brown has a really good one. Morphe has a good one. There's a ton of different like brands that have really great ones. I would say the key to finding the right one is testing it on your skin. Simply because like I have super sensitive skin, and a lot of times what will happen is like my skin will look fine, and then later on at the end of the day, I'm like, oh my gosh. Make sure it fits for your skin type, that it looks good, because sometimes it can even make your makeup like not look good an hour or two later. So I would say always do like a test and then go from there. But yeah, love a good setting spray. And Amira, you are so welcome. Again, y'all, hello, those that are joining, hello. My name is Maya, Makeup with Maya. And if y'all have any questions, please drop them down in the chat. So now we're going into like the final stages of this look. And pretty much after you apply your shadow here, you want to let it dry. The key to like making sure it blends like really seamless, you want to make sure that the eyeshadow that you just applied with your setting spray, your water, or your micellar water, you want to make sure it's dried. If it is not dry, you're going to see like a dark line at the end, and it's going to be a little bit harder to blend. So just make sure it's dried and you're good. Ooh, thanks, Keela. Congrats on engagement. Yes, I just got engaged in May, y'all. Woo woo. And thought about your wedding makeup. Ooh, let's talk wedding makeup because, man, Pinterest has me on a chokehold because I've been looking at all makeup like bridal makeup. It's like, ooh, I want to cut crease, but then I also love like the look of just like not a matte, but like a shimmer white, but not like a cut crease white. With like brown, bronze, caramel. That's what it's giving. But then I see cut crease wedding makeup and I'm like, oh, it's so pretty. It's so pretty. But I do know I want to incorporate gold to some capacity, whether it's like a shimmer or like a glitter, but I don't want like big glitter, just something to where it's like a sparkle to it, if that makes any sense. But yes, I'm excited about bridal makeup. I've been looking at a ton of different stuff. I haven't sort of like settled on one, but there are several that I'm like, I could see that. But I think the dress, depending on the dress, is going to help me determine that. Great question. Love, love, love bridal makeup. All right, so y'all, we are now about to blend this bad boy out right here so y'all can see the difference in this one and this one. I'm also going to get close just so you can see the line right here. And now what we are going to do, say thank you so much. You're so sweet. Thank you. We're going to go in with the shade that we originally started with, which is this one. So as you guys remember, at the beginning, I was like, hey, start with a transition shade. Transition shade is what you start with when you're doing almost any look, depending on some certain ones. But for majority, start with the transition, which is going to be your lighter shade. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to go in with the brush. This is a little bit, sorry, it looks a little wonky because I washed them. But basically something a little dense, more dense than what we've been using. Just go in with this shade here. And all you're going to do is you're going to tap first. So I'm going to get closer and you're going to close your eyes and you're going to tap the edge of your shadow, just like that. Now, the reason you're doing this, you want it to be blended. You don't want like to finish your look like this and go out of the door. Now, if you do that and you love the look, do you? But if you want it blended and you want to not like be able to tell where you started, finished, anything, blend the edges of your eyeshadow. So now what we're going to do, I'm going in more. And when you put the eyeshadow, y'all are probably hearing like a flicking noise. When you put the eyeshadow on, I flick it and y'all can sort of see like the eyeshadow go up. I flick it because you want to get the excess off so that you're not applying too much at once. And depending on if you already have a full face like I do, you just don't want like any eyeshadow to get on your face. So now all you're going to do is after you tap it like this, you're going to sort of blend it back. And all you're doing is just I sort of go like back and forth, blend it back like this and then also forward, or you can literally just go like this. This is my favorite motion, but in case you're like, girl, I need to start step by step, you can literally just do that, tap, and you're good to go. Now, let me show you the difference in this one and this one. Y'all see the difference? And it's like so quick and so easy. So let me do this eye and then we are going to do a darker shade and then finish up with some mascara. And of course, this Bobbi Brown lip. And then we're going to be done. But anyways, if y'all have questions, please drop them in the chat. I'm going to mess everything up when I blend. Oh, okay. So Mira says she feels like she's going to mess up everything when she blends. So my favorite tip is start in a small area. So instead of going like, ooh, 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 like that, what you want to do is start in a small area and do it and then look at yourself. And if you're like, okay, this is looking good, keep building. That's going to help you just make sure you're achieving the look that you want. But also you're going to see like, okay, I've applied enough shadow. So like while I was talking, I've basically applied around the same amount. I'm going to go a little bit further in, but again, also tap allows you to apply the product. And then when you blend out, this is just going to like push the product and disperse it. So it's not in one section. Boop. There you have it. Okay, y'all. So now let's finish with the darker shade. Let me grab my last brush. Actually, I'm going to grab this one. So this is the one that I use to like darken the crease. Sorry, y'all. But what I'm going to do is take the brush again, go in, and I'm going to smoke out this outer edge. And all you're going to do is focus it, and you're going to do very like small circular motions just like that. So simply go in like this and tap. Once you sort of apply the product where you want it, then just do like really small motions, just like that. and see how it's darkening. So I'm going to show you that, and you can see like the difference, right? So all you're going to do is keep building that color until it's like dark how you want it, simply because sometimes it might look dark, but then if you look in the mirror, it's like, I think this needs to be a little bit more smokier. Now, depending on the brush you use, your brush is also going to determine how quickly you smoke this thing out. If I was using a more dense brush, it would actually be way quicker because your dense brushes are going to apply color more like in a compact way, if that makes sense. Your brushes that are like what I'm using, the bristles on this are a little bit more dispersed. So as I'm applying it, it's sort of like putting the pigment everywhere versus in a specific area. But I like that just because like that's sort of like the look we want to go for. But as you can see, it's like a gradient. Get closer. See, it's a gradient. So we're just going to keep blending just a little bit more. And a lot of times if you're like, okay, I can still see the shadow, what you want to do is sort of brush your shade toward that. So it's almost like you can't really see where it stops or where it ends. Making sure I don't miss anybody's questions. Again, do not be shy to ask questions. I love any and all questions. Boom. So you can see like a huge difference in like this one and this one. All right, so now we're going to go in on this side as well. And we're just going to blend on out. Hello, everyone that's joining. Hello, hello. Feel free to drop in the chat where you are from. Excited to have y'all. My name is Maya. Make It With Maya, that is. And we are actually almost wrapping up this gold cut crease. And again, I'll go over the products that we use, the shades that we used. And if any of these products that I'm using, you're like, ooh, I want that, you can actually shop straight from this live. Okay, so Bree, great question. So what are the differences you see with lower quality eyeshadows versus high quality? Ooh, that's a good one. Okay, so we'll start with the lower quality versus higher. So with lower quality, you're going to sort of notice like the shade, it might not show up as well, right? So like in the palette, it might be like it's really, really pretty brown caramel shade. And then when you apply it, it's like, where's the color? Like I can't see it. Or a lot of the times whenever you're applying it, it doesn't blend on your eyes well. Even if you have a concealer, even if you have like your eyeshadow base down, that's going to make it, it just won't look seamless and it won't look like you applied your makeup, right? Now, with higher qualities, you're going to notice like the pigment, but you're also just going to notice like how whenever you're blending, it blends well with other shadows. So you can always do a test. What I like to do, like whenever I'm like shopping for different products, especially when it comes to eyeshadow, I'll take my finger and I'll just like put it in the shade like this. And then I'll take another finger, put it in the shade like this, and then I will put them on my arm. Sorry, y'all, I'm like doing it and not showing you. Put it on my arm and sort of blend it and see what it looks like on my arm. So as y'all can see, like I barely even did it, but it blends like really good. Some of the other ones are going to have like almost like, I don't want to say spaces because that doesn't really describe it well, but it just doesn't look like one straight line. It's going to be like, okay, the shadow's here. What the rest of the shadow, you're going to tell a huge difference. So me personally, I think there are a lot of good like cosmetic brands that are cheaper that have great quality eyeshadows, but you will be able to tell the difference in like certain ones based upon how they're made and all that good stuff. But great question. What type of brush is the easiest to blend with? Ooh, this one. Any type of like fluffy brush, I'm gonna get close so y'all can see it. Any type of fluffy brush like this, this is almost like dome. So it sort of goes like this. Anything like this is going to be amazing simply because you can blend it and you can also focus it. So this is like my favorite brush to use when it comes to that. Let me see. Is it Nava? I'm hoping I'm saying your name right. If it's Nava or Nava. Do also brushes matter on high and low quality? Yes, they really do. I always tell people the best, like the way like for your makeup to look its best, your brushes. It starts with your brushes. Like you can actually have a product that might not look as great like in the packaging or whatever, but you use a good brush, it looks like you spent hundreds of dollars on it, right? So I always say the brushes do matter, and also the type of brushes. So depending on like for an example, if you're doing your foundation, using like a brush that's specific for a foundation. If you're doing eyeshadow and you're like, girl, I need a cut crease, but you're using, I'm gonna show y'all something like this versus this. So this is the one that I used when I did my cut crease. This is the one that if you're like, oh, I can do it with a cut crease, this is going to be more so for your lower lash line. So just making sure you use specific brushes. But I personally think you don't have to spend a lot of money on brushes. Don't believe that, but you do have to use quality brushes in order for your makeup to look the way you want it to. Great question, by the way. What other color would you use from the palette as a lid color for the cut crease? Ooh, I love it. So I would actually also use, if you want to do a shimmer, this one in the middle, beautiful. This is going to give you more like a bronzy, like summer bronzy look. The gold is more so like, girl, we about to go out, right? Now, also what you can do is, I would also use this shade, but in order to use this shade for your cut crease, you would actually have to apply a concealer first. So just like I applied the gold, just use your concealer, or if you have like an eyeshadow base that you can, put on your eyes, but use a concealer, my preference. Do your cut crease just like I did, and then go in with this color, apply it all over the concealer and blend like normal. And there you have it. So this is a very versatile eyeshadow palette, and I love the shades in it because you can do a lot. Great question. Ooh, what brand do you recommend for a starter eyeshadow palette? Ooh, great question, Serena. Honestly, gosh, there's so many really good ones. Honestly, and I'm not saying this just because I'm using it now. If I were starting in makeup and I'm like, girl, I don't know what colors to start with, I would actually grab this one. This would definitely be one that I grab, just because it has like everything that you need in one palette. It's got your transition, it's got your darker, it's got your lighter, and it's got two shimmers. Personally, I would use this one if I was a beginner. Another one, I love the new shadows that have come out that you can like apply with your finger. Now, unfortunately, the way my nails are set up, applying with the finger is not as easy, but you can still apply it with the brush. Supergoop has like these new eyeshadows that are like liquid, not liquid, they're almost like liquid-like. But you literally can just, they come in like a little pack. Put your finger in it, apply, fire. You can also, let me see, you can apply the same shadow I'm talking about with this brush that we did with the gold, but it's something to where it's a easy, like no brainer. You can apply it, blend it, and go out the door. Or you can honestly do it to where you can take your finger and do it in the center of your lid like that. And it's beautiful. But yeah, like, I don't know, Serena, that's such a good question. But honestly, if I were being very honest, this palette right here is a great starter just because it has all the colors that you would need to like do any type of look. Let's see. What brushes? I'm making sure I'm getting all y'all's questions. Oh, okay. So here we go. So brush brands you recommend. Ooh, and Serena, you're so welcome. Brush brands. Let me think. Okay, so I started doing makeup thanks to my sister, Tequila. She actually taught me how to do makeup because she used to tell me, like, girl, why are you not doing your brushes? We've been talking about brushes so long, y'all, I can't even think. Your brows. And I was like, oh, it's not that big of a deal. And she did them for me. And I was like, oh, what have I been doing? So to me, I started out with MAC. I also have done Morphe. I've done, let's see, I'm trying to see like what I have. Honestly, the two that I just said are like my top two. I know Bobbi Brown has some really cool brushes as well that, in my opinion, it goes great with the products that they have. But yeah, I would say those are like my top three for sure. And yes, Nava or Nava, you're so welcome, Queen. And the prices are good. Like, I'll be honest with you, MAC is more expensive for sure. MAC has been around for a really, really long time. But one thing that I can tell you about MAC is if you're like, okay, these are expensive, but what's the catch? The catch is they last forever. Like, I have brushes that I actually had since I was in college. And so the longevity of their brushes is worth it. So if you're like, girl, those are expensive, but also, like I said, Morphe, they're great as well. I'm applying some mascara really quick as I'm talking. Feel free to continue to add more questions, and then we're going to do a little lower lash line, and then y'all, we're gonna be done. This has been like such a great time. Hello to everybody that is joining. Hello, hello. Thank y'all so much for your great questions. This has been a blast. If you're like, hey, I want to see your full look, how in the world do I see it? You can actually see this full live via the app. So basically, any of the products, if you're like, ooh, I want to get that, you can still do that from the link. So it's going to be on the app. So therefore, to make it really, really easy for you guys to get to. So mascara is on. Ooh, I got a question. How often do you clean your brushes, and what do you recommend? Ooh, let's talk about cleaning your brushes. So before, I didn't recognize like the importance of how often you should clean them. I used to clean them, but not as often as I should have. Me personally, I like to clean them every like 2 weeks. Reason for that is especially my face brushes. Now, my eyeshadow brushes, fun fact to me, I think they do better after you've used them for a while. Like a lot of times when I wash my eyeshadow brushes, it takes me forever to blend. And it's just because like there's nothing in here, right? Now, face brushes, you want to wash them at least, I would say, every 2 to 3 weeks max, just because over time it can create bacteria. And if you're experiencing a breakout or anything like that, and you're like, why is my face doing this? A lot of times it can be because there's bacteria in your brushes. And when you're applying it to your face, like whatever product is getting on your skin. Also, to me, I love doing my brushes for my face, but like after the wash, I feel like they blend so good. It's almost like buying a brand new brush. So I would definitely recommend 2 to 3 times max. And if you're like, okay, what do I use? You can honestly use Dawn dish detergent or liquid. It's amazing. Like it's really good. It doesn't wear off on your brushes, and it also just makes it really, really like clean for your items, and it gets rid of any bacteria. So if you're like, girl, I need a good trick, Dawn is it. All right, so we're going to finish up this look now. Keep the questions coming though, please. I'm going to go in with this brush. I'm going to show y'all what it looks like. It's like a flat. Let's old school YouTube it. Y'all know when people used to do this. All right, so basically this is what the brush looks like. I'm just going to go in with this here, and this is the darkest shade. And I'm just going to put on the brush. I'm going to flick it just to get the excess off. Now, here's another tip. Whenever you're applying anything here, you want to actually look up. If you look down, you'll actually put it a little bit lower. So if I'm looking up, I'm looking at my mirror. So I'm going to look up, and then you never want to swipe or do anything like that. Reason for that is whenever you're doing that, this area of your face, most sensitive area of your entire face, and it wrinkles quicker than any other area because this is the thinnest skin on your face. So whenever you're like doing anything makeup wise, me personally, I will avoid tugging, pulling anything around here so we can look as youthful as possible. So basically what you want to do is instead of like pulling down and like applying, look up, and then you're going to tap. And when you're tapping, you're just basically putting it along the lower lash line. So I'm going to finish, and then I'm going to look at you guys just so you can see the difference. Okay, so looking straight, and I'm going to get closer. This has the eyeshadow. This one doesn't. And if you are just joining or you may have missed it, I actually don't do eyeliner that often anymore just because it's a little bit quicker and easier to just apply eyeshadow and get out the door. But also when you do eyeshadow here at the lower lash line underneath, it makes your eyes look bigger. If you want your eyes to look a little bit more slanted, more like like that, apply like your regular eyeliner inside. So doing it under opens your eyes. Doing the eyeliner in, it makes your eyes more like closed. So depending on your look, do you boo, but this is just the way I like to do it. So again, we're going to do it on this side as well. And again, just tap. If you end up swiping, it's not the end of the world, but I just like, if you do it like this, like very, very light. So it's almost as if your skin is not moving. So Boom. There you have it. That is the look, y'all. We are done. I'm going to get close so y'all can see. Thank y'all. Thank y'all for picking this look. Honestly, if you see me like Monday through Friday, like 3 out of 5 days, I got on some gold eyeshadow just because I love gold and I love like the look, and it goes so well with like everything. So yes. So again, I'm going to go over the products really quick. Oh my gosh, I forgot the most important thing. We ain't done yet. Wait a minute. We're going in with this. So this, I'm going to get it closer. Do y'all see the shimmer in this? Do y'all see this? It's so pretty. And again, this is in the shade Bare Sparkle. If you like this shade after I apply it, heads up, it was out of stock like last week. And I was like, ooh, I need to see if they're going to get any more of this in. It is currently in. So I'm going to apply it and then I'm going to show y'all what it looks like. And whenever I do gloss, depending on like where I'm going, I like to apply an excessive amount just because when you're talking, drinking, eating, anything like that, a lot of times your like gloss is going to go bye-bye. And we don't want all the hard work we put into this look to go bye-bye, right? So basically, this is it. It's like really, really pretty. And it looks good by itself. There's like some glosses where you like put it on and you're like, I feel like I need something. With this one, snap, snap, snap. We are done. Okay, no, this time we really are done. So I'm going to go over the products really quick. Again, before I end this live, if y'all have any more last minute questions, please drop them in the chat. But again, this is the Bobbi Brown, and I'm going to tell you the exact name. It's the Bronze Nudes Eyeshadow Palette. So this is that. Again, just to show y'all the shades. Again, boom, boom, boom. These are the shades. Bam. And then we went in with this in Bare Sparkle. This is the gloss that I have on. And then if you joined like maybe like 5 minutes after 7:30, you may not have heard me. But in case you're like, ooh, what blush does she have on? I have on this one, the Laura Mercier. I'm going to get close so y'all can see how pretty. Like, do y'all see this? It is so pretty. It's like this shade can go on any skin tone. When I say any, I mean any. And it's such a pretty shade. It blends really well. It doesn't take a lot. So in case you're like, girl, what blush do you have on? This is Laura Mercier in Strawberry. So she's so pretty. But I'm going to give y'all one more minute just to make sure I don't miss any questions. Thank y'all again for joining. My name is Maya. If you, of course, want to follow me on social media, just so y'all can see all the lives I'm going to be doing here on the Mile, it is Miss MISS _ Maya MIA Nicole NICOLE. My sister, if you're still on, will you put it in there? Because I'm like, if I touch this, I might mess it up. And yes, Bree, you better purchase this. You're going to love it. It's going to look so good on you, by the way. And speaking of purchasing, again, if you're like, girl, how do I get to the palette? You'll be able to purchase all of the products, the Bobbi Brown shadow, the lip, and the blush. You can actually shop straight from this video. And thank you, Sissy, my tequila. Thank you so much. If you want to follow on IG, that is my tag there. If you're like, girl, I don't have a pen, y'all can maybe screenshot it, or you can just write it in down on a piece of paper in your notes, whatever the case may be. But again, it's Miss _ Maya Nicole. Thank y'all so very much. This has been such a great time. And stay tuned because I might do it next week. If y'all want me to do it next week, let me know. I'm actually going to show you guys 2 ways to apply your blush. One for lifting and one to make it like a cheeky pink look. So if y'all want to see that, let me know. I will totally schedule it for y'all next week. We can do another live just featuring this blush. And again, we'll have fun, have a party, talk all makeup. And yes, Flo, blush is your favorite, girl. So we definitely going to do it. We're going to do it. Thanks, Mom. My mom is on here too. Hello, Mother. But with that, y'all, again, I just want to say thank you so much for joining. I have had the best time. And to everybody that voted on this look, y'all did it. Y'all did it. This is a look. I need to tell my fiance we need to go somewhere. I can't just wash this off, right? We need to go somewhere. But anyways, thank y'all so much for joining. Love you all. And see y'all maybe next week for the blush look. Bye, everybody.